Okay, so I wanted to share my new movie idea. This is a movie. I know. So the last thing I did was a series, and that was about basically the way that segregation would happen to Americas, as if we had a, white land and a indigenous land. So that was the story of segregation, and that was a series. So that was more for like Netflix or Hulu series. Okay, so now this is a movie. It could be a blockbuster. And I'm not sure if I'm going to do it as a thriller or I'm gonna let you tell me, is it thriller or more? It might be horror. Okay, so this is what happened. There were these two boys. They were like 20-year-olds. They were twins, and they disappeared from a bus station. So the police did the investigation and they found out they were African American, black, they were indigenous. And they did the investigation and they found out that it was members of the white supremacy that had murdered them. So they took them to court. And, the way things happen in America, they got off. So it didn't end there though. That's actually just where the movie started. So something happened in the black African American community. I don't know. It was like something clicked and they all started operating in unison. And it was like a son for a son type of mentality. And what happened was the guys that got off, their family members started getting picked off one by one. And it was like they were trying to fight that back, but they couldn't pinpoint it because it was different people. It was like maybe their teacher who was always so nice. She wasn't nice no more. No, she was still nice, and it was like they didn't know because they didn't know who were friendlies, and even the friendlies were double agents. It was like all of the black community. It was, you didn't know who it was. If you went into the doctor, you were like, oh, but no, they were the ones. So everybody was taking them out left and right, and we couldn't pinpoint who were the actual murderers because it was everybody, it was the whole community just taking them out. I mean, and they took out the whole bloodline. It was like something from the Bible. Um, but it was so good. It's like a thriller horror because you don't know who the enemy is, and the enemy's kind of everybody, and you really don't know who to trust. Um, and they were just running for fear, and they just didn't know because it was like every time they turned around, they had to see a black cop or a black, and it's like, do I trust them or are they, kind of the fear that, we have. But anyways, it's such a good movie. I'm so excited about it. But should it be horror or thriller? I don't know. But anyways, so towards the end when he had to, do funerals for all his family members and stuff because they didn't actually take him out. They just took out like all his bloodline so he can like live with that grief. And it was the blood, everyone who was involved, their whole families were like getting taken out left and right. So, but it was at the end, he had to meet with somebody. He was still trying to figure out, and it was like they couldn't, FBI, no one could figure it because it was different killers. It wasn't just one. Um, it was so good because then it was like the guy he had to meet with walked in, and it was a black guy, and he was just like, I'm never getting justice because it was like the feeling like you guys are all in on this. Anyways, it's a good movie. So I maybe send this one to Tyler Perry. He could do this. Um, all right, carry on.